Welcome to the Violin Podcast, where we help you become a better violinist. I'm your host, Eric Morgala, joined here by my guest co-host today, who's a Turkish-born and multi-genre violinist, who's also my esteemed colleague. She's also a string professor at Berklee College of Music. Please let me welcome Bengisu Gokce. Bengisu, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? This is
So
awesome.
good to see you. This is the first episode after a couple of year hiatus of the Violin Podcast, and I thought of you to do this
I'm
because
so honored. Thank you.
I know. Well, because we recently did a concert together back in October,
Yes.
the Grand Tour concert, which thank you for your patience with that because it was all kind of scrambled together. We only had two rehearsals to do it, and then bam. So that's like pretty much the life of a musician, right? Like you just have
100%.
you just have like one or two rehearsals.
Definitely. And I think that's one of the hardest parts or the most challenging thing if you're a freelance musician, right? Because freelance musician means someone who actually has 10, 15 jobs all at once.
Yeah.
Working with different people in different projects. So with that, obviously you don't get the optimum time, that amount of time to prepare things. So it's just go.
Well, I want to bring up something that you just mentioned as we were walking into the studio. You're talking about you just recently were in New York for a concert.
Yes.
I don't know much about it, and the audience, I'm sure, is curious to know what just happened.
Sure. So this is a Turkish American orchestra. It's based in New York. It is called New Manhattan Philharmonia. And I am their current concertmaster and their contractor. And I also signed up to do some music editing, arranging, and
Oh my.
that was on me.
Okay.
I was just telling you. It was obviously not my job description. However, we were in a meeting and one of the pieces came with a score without the parts, and we were a symphony orchestra. But from the orchestra, on the score, there were only the string quartet parts. Other than that, there's piano, there's guitar, and like drum set and stuff like that that we didn't have. And they're like, so how are we supposed to play this in a classical symphony orchestra?
Yeah.
Mind you, obviously the musicians are great at what they do. However, I think in most of the classical settings, that flexibility, that liquid adjustment
doesn't happen much.
Doesn't
much
I think this was, it's not a bad thing. It's just what it is, right?
Right.
So as a person who actually knows how to extract parts, it needed a transposition and stuff like that. So I'm thinking to myself, they're discussing how to do this, how to play this. Is this piece so crucial? Do we have to do it? They're like thinking about cutting it off and stuff like that. I was like, guys, I'm thinking to myself, I can do it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I signed up for it. Turns out it wasn't a 5-minute work, but since I already
You're committed
gave
to do
them
it.
exactly my word, I kind of took it over, and it gave me extra anxiety a little bit. But we put it together on the day of the concert, and we did it, and everybody was happy, and yeah.
That's some good leadership. Like
Thank
we are actually. I was discussing with like a group of people recently about like the role of leadership, and especially like in the classical music setting where you don't have much creativity when you're sitting in an orchestra. You kind of are like told what to do by the concertmaster, by the conductor. You don't really do much. So there's not like a really collaborative effort like we did in the German Grand Tour Germany concert. But the fact that you like stepped up, I'm like, guys, I'll just do it. I'll take one for the team.
Exactly, because it hurts me so much. I am the person who actually knows how to do it, and I don't want to.
And you have your way of doing it.
Exactly. And it hurts me to stay quiet. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, it hurts me. I need to say, yes, I can do it. So that was the case. But I'm glad I did it. Every time I guess challenge myself with stuff like this, because I'm primarily a performer. And every time I get to compose, every time I get to arrange or, do some admin work on the side, it's really a great opportunity for me to get better.
Yeah. I have a list here of some... not all, but some of the most memorable performances that you've either given me or we've done together. Okay. And I'm gonna say these words, and let's see if we can kind of riff off of that. Indian Bollywood music fundraiser concert.
That was literally the first one that came
Was that the first
mind.
one? Yeah.
The very first one.
That was you. You gave me. Well, not you gave me, but you asked me to play, and wow, what a trip that was.
It was. And I have actually, okay, so the reason why that concert happened for me as well,
Yeah.
how I got involved was, I believe one of the, I would say producers, I'm not really sure what his role was, but we had Clint from Berklee Indian Ensemble. There's this
Yeah.
concert, Vijay Prakash, who is a amazing, super big star,
Mega star in India.
mega star.
Mega star.
Exactly. And Vijay had come and played with Berklee Indian Ensemble. We had a concert in Canada, actually. So I was a part of that concert.
Okay.
So we knew Vijay from there. And when he mentioned that he's coming back to do this concert again with a band, with an orchestra from India, he's like, we just need additional, string players or like some wind players too. And if you're free, can you please do this and also contract the players? I was like, yes, this is Berklee vibes, like you play Mozart and now you come play Bollywood.
Then you play Bollywood.
Exactly.
I know, it's insane. That concert was insane. It's like literally I'm just dancing on stage. We're all dancing on stage. It was a riot, but I will have to admit something. There was no intermission.
Oh, I know.
And for anyone who's listening, this was a 4-hour concert.
It was long. Yeah.
It was 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I will admit I had to use the restroom. So did you know this? I had to use the restroom. And there was one song where I'm like, because I don't think we found out the concert order until the day of.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were like, it was like, again, very flexible, last minute. As me, classical musician, I'm like, I want to know. I want to know what's happening, right? So I'm like, I also remember getting like some I had a migraine that day, and my wife just gave birth to my son. It was like 2 weeks after, so like my brain is like all like mumble jumble, and then I had to use the restroom, and then I finally found a window where there was a piece where we're not playing as a string section. I had to go down the stairs underneath the theater in Worcester, use the restroom, run back, go up the spiral stairway, and then go back. And I made it back in time, thank goodness.
Good for you. I don't remember that.
Yeah, no, I
you were very discreet. That was very good. That's good musicianship, you see?
Gotta risk it to get the biscuit, Bengisu. But no, I remember where I'm like, sometimes it comes up in conversation where I'm like, oh yeah, I play with Vijay Prakash, you know him? Like, oh yeah, he's like a mega Bollywood star. And then I realized like how chill he was during the rehearsal. And during the rehearsal, we like, and they flew a whole orchestra from Mumbai, and made like it was a really fantastic experience.
Definitely.
Little long though, like opera long, like 4 hours long,
Wagner style.
like Wagner ring cycle long, but it is what it is. But it was fun. I have another one.
Yeah.
Nassim's studio album with the B half flat.
Listen, I was with Nassim yesterday, by the way.
Oh yeah?
And the album is coming out very soon.
By the way, Nassim is also the cellos of the Turtle Island String Quartet, which
yes.
he's a fantastic musician. But I remember very clearly, I'm learning that music, and I see B with like a half flat on that. Talk to us about that B half flat.
So Nassim Alatrash is a Palestinian cellist, and his music he's also coming from a classical background. However, he also grew up playing Arabic music, and he's a wonderful classical musician, wonderful Arabic music player. However, when he moved to the States, he went to school at Berklee. That was his kind of exposure to more modern styles,
like
jazz.
World music.
Yeah, that and jazz. So. And then later on, he finished his undergrad here, and he did the jazz masters, at the Global Jazz Institute at Berklee. So this was basically his final project for his master program, and he got this grant to record an album, and he's like, "This is written for an orchestra now, arranged for an orchestra now, and solo cello." I wonder what type of orchestra we can put together, because we have definitely quarter tones.
The best one. The best orchestra we can put together.
It is definitely, we literally had to sit down and work on some names, because he's asking me, who I know, who could kind of like, be flexible and like adjust intonation and, even phrasing, some ornaments and stuff. of course your name came up because we had done so many, sessions and other concerts and
Yeah, that's
things
another story
together
about how we met.
over the years.
We'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah, but I kind of knew that because he, thanks to Nassim, he trusted me with kind of unifying that quarter tone situation. I was like, okay, dear. The problem is actually not a problem. This is a fun fact. So I'm from Turkey and I grew up hearing Turkish music, although I didn't play Turkish music. That's an interesting thing too, until I moved to the States. We can talk about it on a different day. But Turkish music has microtones too, and Arabic music too, and the modes and the understanding of the traditional music so similar to each other. However, Turkish intonation is slightly sharper than Arabic, so even I had to adjust a little bit some of the notes and approach
no way.
notes. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, and I remember there was this one moment I was playing, and he's like, "Yeah, you see, that is a Turkish half sharp or something like that." It was
But you
so
know what though?
minute,
But you know what though? Nassim has a very good ear.
yeah,
Like amazingly good ear. Like he was even saying during the session, I remember very clearly because it's one of the few moments in my life where I had to play a half something.
yeah, yeah.
Half something.
100%.
Yeah, that half flat is a little bit too sharp, guys. Let's just bring it down a little bit.
Definitely.
And we're talking like micro sense at this point,
Super,
right? Like
yeah.
super intentional. But I remember there was also a device. I don't know if the pianist brought it, but the pianist, I forget his name.
Utar.
Was brought a device to put inside the grand to make microtones out of Western
Regular, exactly.
equal temperament tuning.
Yep.
Which is mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing. We need to actually ask Utar about it, but because I know he...
Did he invent that?
No, I don't think so, but he does a lot of microtonal projects. We have a professor, Dave Fuzinski, at Berklee, and he has this very avant-garde microtonal project that he does, and also a class. Utar has been playing with Dave for many, many years, and I believe over the years, Utar himself is a wonderful musician, very, very sophisticated, the way he composes and performs music. So I think it was kind of something that he found, and he's like, if we want to go for the real quarter tones and specific intonation, I think you cannot keep the piano the way it is because it's not going to match.
Right.
So that was probably his idea, or kind of like brainstorming. But
yeah, so let's talk about your connection into Berklee now, because I met you as when you were on the tail end of your studies at Berklee, and we met in a recording session. And now you're a professor there. So talk to us about your teaching at Berklee. How many students do you have? Do you have like one specific genre of students, like one genre of music? Talk to us about that.
Sure. So, well, I came to Berklee to study in 2015, and although I had my undergrad already from back home in the conservatory, I just really wanted to put the classical education aside, because after that I was in Germany doing my pre-masters in Berlin.
In Berlin,
Hans Eisler. And then during my time there, I was like, okay, you know what? I was taking a jazz harmony class. It was one of the electives, and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, I feel like I'm in a very good place in classical music world. My knowledge, what I got to do in it, I'm really content. And I feel like there's so much more to music, and I should use that knowledge and all that technique, or just being a classical musician, and use that personality, ability in all the other things. So that's when I decided, kind of like discovering other stuff or searching for other stuff. I came across someone who was going to Berklee at the time. We got to do a concert in Turkey. I didn't even know what Berklee was. It was so funny and a little bit embarrassing, actually, because I'm going from Berlin. The other violinist was going from Berlin. We were childhood friends. And then this third person, who was a pianist, he is coming from Berklee. And I was like, what is Berklee? Like, where is it? What do you do there?
Right.
And he is, by the way, a wonderful musician, Cem Oslu, also Turkish, composer, pianist. He is the one who told me about Berklee. he said this is mainly a jazz school, but if you want to study film music, if you want to study music business, music therapy, all kinds of things related music, not only performance, you should go there.
Right.
And I was like, I can't believe I'm meeting you right now, because this was the place that I was looking for. So with him and his encouragements, I applied for Berklee. I got in, so I started. I had the best time. And then the merger happened. That's how we actually met. I think the second year, right?
Right, because I went to Boston Conservatory. Now it's at Berklee.
Exactly.
It was the OG Boston Conservatory.
It was.
It was the OG. And then I graduated 2015, and then the merger happened right after.
Correct.
And then all of a sudden I became a Berklee alumni.
That's true.
So, but no, it was great for me because I didn't go straight into a master's. And if people who are listening, if you get your undergrad, then the common theme is that you go to your master's right away. Right? Yeah. But I was like maybe 1 or 3 people in my class. I can even name the people who didn't do their master's right away, including myself. I just decided, you know what? Like I've been preparing for orchestra auditions, all the orchestra excerpts. And the people on the podcast know my story, but like I did the audition, didn't want to do it. Then my senior year came and I'm like, I'm lost. So I feel like, okay, let me take a break. Let me see what the market it demands out of its musicians. And then I'm like, okay, then the Berklee Boko merger happened. And then actually our mutual friend, Nate Taylor, cello, actually got me into these sessions. And then that's how I met you.
Correct.
And it's just been a wonderful friendship since then because we've played in concerts together, we've gigged, we've done sessions, like so many cool things.
Definitely.
So many cool things. Yeah. And I do want to tell the audience a story about the very first moment we met. And I don't know if you remember this. You remember. You're smiling. I was running late and it was an SSP session. And we were like maybe 5 minutes till downbeat, like 5 minutes until we were about to start, right? And you're sitting concertmaster, and I'm sitting assistant. I think my first or second time there, and I'm running in because I had to go. I actually had jury duty, believe it or not. I had jury duty. I was on a murder trial on a jury case, and I had to rush back to do these sessions. Did I ever tell you this? I don't think I ever have. But anyway, so I had to drive back from the courthouse. And I had to go to the Berklee session, and then I was running late. So then I had like a pencil case that I left in my car, and I sit down and I look at my violin case. I go, dang it, I don't have my violin. I don't have my pencil case. And I go, and I don't know you yet. And I go, excuse me, do you actually have an extra pencil? I left mine in the car. And then you go, do you remember what you said next? Dear,
I can
why did you forget your career?
I can explain.
Yeah, I know but from that day forward, I used that with my young students, like pre-college, like high school, even my middle schoolers are like, I didn't forget my career, Mr. M. So I use that now because that was it was funny. I mean, it's funny now, but I'm like, oh my God, who is this woman?
I know, right? Intense and like, I never want to see her again.
Yeah, you had like very like concertmastery eyes.
Oh my goodness. So our conductor of the symphony orchestra at Berklee back then was Francisco Noya, and that was one of the things that he used to say: no pencil, no career, basically. And such a simple but such true statement, honestly.
But now with all the digital iPads and whatnot,
I know,
if you don't forget your finger so you can mark it in Foursquare.
Exactly.
So it's a little different now.
Yeah.
But you're here with us for 3 episodes, and I want to actually get into a little fun game called Underrated, Overrated.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you 3 bullet points, and we're going to talk each a little bit, and we're going to talk if it's underrated or overrated. We're going to start with something simple. Underrated or overrated? Fine tuners on all 4 strings. Underrated or overrated?
I think they're underrated.
Underrated. Yes, definitely. I think they're underrated, especially if you're a session musician, right? Because then you don't have to deal with the peg all the time.
Exactly, and you don't want to be that person who finishes tuning the last. Like everybody's waiting for you. To be honest with you, I have this very specific tailpiece, and fine tuners are attached to it. So it's actually designed in a way that it doesn't really like clog the sound or
Yeah.
like, you know, it dampens the sound or anything.
So it opens
it's
it up
just
still.
super, super light, and it doesn't even affect the sound.
Okay, that's
So
good.
I am one of those who has 4 fine tuners, and I've been super happy with my life.
I have 2 fine tuners. I have one on the A and
You're
one on
getting
the
there.
E. I'm getting. You know what? Maybe you should invite me to do more microtonal stuff with Nassim, and then maybe I might have to do more fine tuners. I'll be like, I give in.
That's
Sacrifice the sound for intonation.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think with the fine tuners, I think it's underrated for sure, and I think people should take advantage of it. The problem is though, a lot of tailpieces are made of wood, and sometimes it clogs up the sound the moment you add more metal onto
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
Unless you start seeing products out with like titanium tailpieces that kind of helps. It's like not like how do you even describe it? It's like it has holes inside the tailpiece. Have you seen that on a cello?
Oh no.
No, there's like titanium
Uh-huh.
tailpiece, very light, but then there are like holes on the tailpiece, and then that opens up the sound, and that allows you to put the fine tuners on.
Right. Oh, that's amazing.
I think it's more common in cellists, more over violin, but I think there's a company that makes it for violins too.
Right.
Okay, so we're under agreement.
Oh, we're on the same page.
Underrated.
Underrated.
Now, you and I play a lot of weddings together.
Yes, we do.
We do. Is Vivaldi Four Seasons in a wedding ceremony underrated or overrated?
Oh my God, such a hard question.
That's so hard, right? We got to make it entertaining for the folks.
I thought you would ask for the Pachelbel canon actually, but
That was gonna be my follow up.
Okay. What do you think?
I think it's overrated.
I think it's overrated.
Because I can't tell you how many times we played Vivaldi Spring.
Uh-huh.
You know, there's a website, free, and it's not sponsored by this. It's not sponsoring this podcast, but free sheetmusic.com.
Yeah.
There's this wonderful lady that put in all the arrangements, and it's like the title of it's like the shameless Vivaldi Spring arrangement. So every time I read that, and whenever a contractor gives me that sheet music, I go, "Oh God, another spring."
Listen, I actually have been wondering what that means, shameless, because I have the same arrangement. What does it mean?
Shameless? It's like you're not ashamed to play.
Like seriously, shameless. Like she meant it.
Like she meant it. Like
my-
you just play it, and you're just gonna play it, and you don't care what anybody else thinks. That's what shameless means.
That's funny. Okay.
But canon, Pachelbel canon. I think it's properly rated.
I think it is too, because it has this like very I don't know, like noble sound to it. And
Pachelbel, one hit wonder. But
the thing is, I think for us musicians, it gets boring over time. However, if you are a guest, imagine at a wedding, and if you hear it a few times or something, you don't go like again. You know, it's almost like accepted as the OG like ceremony
Like
or
the
walking
standard.
down the standard. Exactly, like. Everybody has that expectation, I think, like to hear it. If they don't hear it, it was like, oh, this is a new thing, If they hear "Here Comes the Sun," for example.
But have we played "Here Comes the Sun" with the bride coming down? I think I've
I might have once
once
or twice, something like that.
I think I played "Here Comes the Sun" usually for processional, but not for recessional, not processional.
Before the bride.
Yeah.
That for sure, but I might have played it for the bride too.
Is there totally off topic, but is there a wedding piece that you were requested to play and you're like, I don't know if this is a good idea?
Yes. Let me try to think. Well, we got asked to play so many like anime or animation rather, like cartoon
Like Japanese
type of
anime?
thing. Japanese anime, but also some sort of cartoon stuff, or like I don't know, like Jurassic Park and stuff.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I didn't think it would end like a disaster, but like I'm like why really, like it's a very nerdy thing, you know?
Yeah, I'll tell you one story. We were in Newport in one of the mansions we were playing. I think it was the Rosecliff. The Rosecliff mansion we were playing in. Or in Beverly. There was like a bunch of mansions in Massachusetts.
sure.
Very, very popular budding destination. I can't even take it seriously. We played Mahler
Oh wow.
in a wedding during the wedding ceremony. Not like processional or recessional, but like in the ceremony. Like we had a contractor like make an arrangement of like maybe it was a Adagiero Mahler 5
Interesting.
and or it was Mahler 4, the third movement of Mahler 4. And this guy was probably like a music history buff or something, because who on earth would request Mahler
At the wedding.
at the wedding?
That's so
Crazy.
funny.
Unbelievable.
You just reminded me of one of the weddings that I got to do this past summer. We played flute glass. And I'm not really sure how many times people actually play flute glass at a wedding.
Philip Glass?
Flute glass, yeah.
What?
I know. That was something.
Okay, moving on.
End of
Underrated. Okay, last underrated or overrated for the episode. Competitions.
Ooh. See, I have like black and white ideas about competitions because I got to do like 3 competitions. Actually 4.
I did competitions in my youth, but not as like a conservatory student.
I see. Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. I think it depends on, obviously everybody wants to win something, right?
Right.
People do competitions because they want recognition or they want to be discovered and like, for their career to set off. I am still not a competitive person. I did the competitions because my violin teacher back at home in the conservatory thought that it would really improve us, because she's like, okay, so let's say we have a goal without the competitions. Forget, just during the year, we have a goal to achieve. Mm-hmm. You are spreading the goal or the timeline over a year.
Right.
But when you know you have a competition and you have to achieve your goal with, all the smallest details, like everything you're thinking about, everything has to improve in your practice. That's a totally different mindset. And she's like, that's a good, I don't know, like a good test for yourself to see your potential.
Right.
How long it takes you to actually achieve that goal, and do you actually need the full year to achieve the same goal, basically. So she's like, if you know there's a competition coming up in the jury, like there's XYZ people who are going to listen to you. They're like huge names, obviously, in the music scene, and the awards could be, some sort of
like a monetary prize.
Exactly, or like some concerts with, big orchestras, whatever actually motivates you. That's still something that's going to expose you to a completely different crowd, right? And a completely different mentality. You're going to be judged differently. So I did competitions like that. I was not really a huge fan of it, but looking back now, she was right, because I did improve maybe 3 times faster. And that proves you something about you.
Yeah, I think going back to the question of whether it's underrated or overrated, I think it depends on what stage in life you are in and what stage in your violin development you're in. Because, for example, a parent, like let's say a student pre-college, pre-conservatory, for the most part, parents are paying for those lessons, right? So it really depends on whether you're, sometimes parents, and you probably can agree to this, that sometimes parents are paying you a fee to see a result. Right? To see a result, like, okay, I'm paying you, and then I want to see my child succeed in this, right? Problem is, though, is that you have a parent that sometimes doesn't sit in the lesson, doesn't really understand what's happening with their child's development. So when they're looking for an expectation, and you say one thing, they're not understanding that world a little bit. So when I'm doing the auditions, for example, for like district orchestra in your state over here, I have, to me, that's almost like a competition. And I think it's healthy to have goals, because I think if you set yourself for a goal, then you write it down, you work towards it, and if you do your best, then at least you've done everything you can to try to meet that goal. Especially with like AI on the rise, which we'll talk about in a couple episodes from now. But it's, I think it's so important to have the creative muscle working when you're working towards that goal for a competition. So, but that's for like under pre-college, right? But like if you're a collegiate student, some conservatories, they bank their students on winning competitions so that way they get more students, right? So it's like, oh, look at us. We have students winning jobs. We have students winning competitions. They get management, right? So then that becomes really appealing.
Right.
So in that case, it's overrated. And,
yes.
And for me, with the and for me personally, I mean, I can just speak from my own personal experience that, yeah, competition is healthy, but then you cannot let the competition consume you, right? So if you have the competition, then you're always working on competitions. You're always in that mentality of like, okay, I need to win, right? So I mean, it goes back to having a good teacher, having a solid, just a solid teacher who's like mentally intact.
Yeah.
Because if you have a teacher that's like forcing you to do competitions, because sometimes these teachers have incentives of like, okay, well, they can get more students too, right? So that's also the sometimes the students are not looking. Sometimes the teachers are not looking for the students' best interest, but for their own, right? So it's not, competitions may not be for everybody, but it could be for some. But I would say that you don't need to have a competition to have a successful career.
No, it definitely, in that sense, it's definitely overrated.
Yeah.
Because now that I am exposed to so many different genres and people who play different styles and things, I've met amazing musicians who have never done one competition in their lives, and their art, their talent, they all have been, acknowledged by people, and they are successful and they're super happy. So it really depends, I think, what you want to get from the competitions.
Right. What you get out of it? Like if you're doing it for growth and you're not expecting to win.
Exactly.
Sometimes those people.
But that's also like such an interesting thing, like how can you say like, oh, I'm just here for the growth. I don't want to win anything. But deep inside, you're like,
yeah, it makes you.
It would be nice if I won something after all this efforts,
Right, and you could probably relate to this because you know the classical world too, especially with like auditions, orchestral auditions. It's like I'm just doing it for the growth. I'm just doing it for practice.
But I also need.
But like I also need job security. I need food on the table. I need to pay my electricity. My rent is overdue.
Exactly.
So it's like half joking, like we say, because the world is so small. You see these people going to these auditions pretty frequently. You see the same people trying to win the same job. And honestly, sometimes one person just has a better day than you. It doesn't mean and that's the name of the game, unfortunately, where you have your. I remember very clearly with Utah Symphony. I don't know if I ever told you this, but Utah Symphony, I flew out to Salt Lake City and I was in the first round. And then I had a, screen on in front of me, right? So the jury couldn't see me. And I had to walk on a red carpet where they couldn't tell me if I was male or female because females usually wear heels to auditions or something, right? Oh, yeah. So they covered the stage up with like a very sound absorbing carpet. And for me, that was like very, very high stress situation, right? Like if you're applying for these types of jobs, it's very, very stressful. And there is turnover at these orchestras because of that demand to play at such a high level every time. So that's why these jobs are open all the time. So if someone listening to this podcast who is like a student and is like, well, there's only 5 jobs open right now. Well,
but don't get discouraged.
Don't get discouraged. Yeah, don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged because they will cycle through.
Definitely.
Right? But anyways, that'll be the conclusion of our first episode. Make sure you are tuning in for the next 2 weeks because we will have 2 more episodes with Bengisu. Bengisu, thanks for